Well, my cell phone's down and so is the internet. Sure is a pretty day for a good old-fashioned cyber attack. Now, before everybody goes crazy and says, Jay, the internet was not down, you're absolutely right. My router decided to take a doo-doo on the day of. But you can imagine what I was thinking with the cell phones and the internet down. I needed some intel. Now, what could I have done? I could have gotten on the satellite phone, but I hadn't paid for that month, so, you know, that's useless. Nobody was really talking on MREs, so that was useless. So I got on the ham radio and started listening to some of the pre-programmed nets that I had plugged into her. Now, that was useful. I actually found out that the gas stations were down, pharmacies were down, and 911 was down. Now, just because you get some intel, that doesn't mean that it's necessarily true, so I felt like I needed to confirm what I was hearing. Now, with fuel being a finite resource, I really didn't want to take the old Rubicon to town because, you know, you might not be able to get some more, and I only had half a tank, which was a perfect excuse for me to test out this new e-bike that Chris left me, the heybike Brawn. Now, this is a budget bike. 1,500 bucks gets you the bike. You also get fenders, you get a rear rack, and you also get a basket for the back, but I don't have one. She's fat tired, 26-inch by 4-inch. Now, a lot of the parts on this bike are hydraulic. You got hydraulic brakes, you got hydraulic forks, and you also have a hydraulic seat. Now, you can adjust preload and compression, and there is an app that pairs with the bike. Now, it also has a 750 watt motor, which is capable of 1,200 watts of output, and it has a 48 volt battery located in the down tube. I think its most redeeming feature is the front end. It looks just like a motorcycle. I love the triple trees, and that headlight is boss. And as far as name brand parts go, you've got Shimano shifting, and that's pretty sweet. Now, we don't want to forget the water bottle holder, which that was the largest bottle that I could get in there. I guess a half bottle's better than no bottle. Now, I did put electrolytes into the water, so technically we have NOS. Now, that was just a joke for our gearheads. We are actually saving glaciers, sea turtles, and planting trees. The only thing that doesn't work is this nifty detachable light, which happens to be right in front of my bag. And for those of you that are wondering, it doesn't charge up with the bike. You have to charge it separately. Yes, I tried to charge it. No, it does not work. Safety first. I've been pretty generous with the specs, so if you want more, go to the website because specs are boring. Yeah, this thing's bitchin' red boss looking, but I'm all about function over form. This thing better perform. Okay, hopefully y'all can hear me. Let's go for a ride. Now, this hill is a first gear in my Jeep kind of hill. I've got it in third gear, pedal assist 5, and yeah, it's doing it like it's no problem. Oh, there's a dog. Let's try throttle only. Well, it looks like we're going 22 miles an hour on throttle. When I looked on the website, this is supposed to be a class 3 bike, which, if I remember correctly, it means the throttle is supposed to go up to 20, and you should be able to pedal to 28. I'm not complaining though. Well, one thing I can say, the bike is fast. Let's see, no, we want to cross the other way. Let's see if that works. Last time we did this, it did not work. Let's see if it decides to work this time. Okay, it's saying we can go. Still check both ways. All right, now I really want to test this throttle thing because, yes, I did just pass that. I knew that I could. Because I don't think it's supposed to go over 20 on throttle, but we are certainly going over 20, 23, 25, 26, 27, 28. Holy cow, we're going 30 miles an hour on throttle. Wow. Chris wasn't lying, this thing is fast. Wow. Okay, that is impressive. Can't believe that. As far as handling goes, I don't know. When I was at 30 miles an hour, check and make sure we don't nail anybody. Oh, we got the cross, yes. One thing I'm noticing right now, there's a delay for the pedals. It takes like 3 revolutions of the pedal to kick the motor in. Yeah, 3 revolutions. Just make sure nobody's turning. Okay, I'm gonna go in here just to test this out. One thing I can say for sure, this bike is really quick. I mean, that's just with throttle. 27, 28. But it starts to get a little bit wobbly when you get up to 30. It doesn't feel as stable as I want it to be at 30 miles an hour anyway. Let's go up gear here. Go to 7th gear. Golly. Okay, this bike is definitely fast. I mean, it's quick as well. It's not just fast, it's quick. The handling, though, does give me a little bit of concern. We've got these really narrow handlebars. And as far as feedback, you know, the bike gets a little wobbly. Yeah, actually it gets a lot wobbly. I do not like that. It feels almost like the neck is loose or something, even though I know it's not, but because I tightened it. I wonder if we up our compression. Let's go ahead and see how that affects the bike. This is certainly something to test out, because I don't want to be going, you know, 50 miles an hour downhill, lose control of the bike because it's not stiff enough. Let's see if this affects it. Really can't get the run that I want right here. Let's try it on this straightaway again. All right, so we've got the compression turned up. I'm pedaling, pedal assist 5, trying to get going pretty quick. No, it's still there. Ooh, that is dangerous. All right, man, that's a bummer, because this thing is really fast. That's not good, but we did have a mission. Oh, we're not going that way. We're going this way. The mission was to get to the gas station. So maybe we should get our butts to the gas station. I just kind of, you know, anytime I test something out, I want to take it to the outer limit and see what it'll do. Now, supposedly this bike is for larger people. 400-pound capacity on a bike, that's pretty amazing. And 120 pounds on the rack. I mean, if that's not for big feet, I don't know what is. So the towing capacity is good, but it definitely doesn't handle like a Ferrari. Thank you. We're headed up here to the racetrack. And when I came up here the other day, every single pump was down. But what I did was well, looky here. See like this where it says sorry, out of service? That was on every single pump. But today, it looks like all the pumps are back up. Oh, there's one that's down. But when I came up here, all the pumps are out for sure. Now, what I did was I parked the bike and I got out and started talking to people, asking them, you know, hey, what's going on? Do you have cell phone service? I lost internet. And I was kind of surprised. Some people were out of service, some people were not. Nobody that I talked to had any kind of internet issue. Let's park for a second. We'll park out here behind where all the trash is. Now, one thing I didn't talk about, I did bring my bag with me. This is my accessory kit for riding bikes. And I also had my helmet. Now, I also have my weapon on me as well. I do realize that some of our friends in other countries can't carry weapons, but that's something I thank God that I can do here in America. Something that might be on your mind in a situation like this too is strategic avoidance. Now, this was early on in this, and nobody really knew if it was a cyber attack or not. I mean, nobody really knew what was going on. That was the whole point of coming up here and just trying to find out whatever kind of information I could find. People had lots of different theories about what was going on, and what I did find out was that people that had AT&T seemed to be having a little bit more problem than the people that had Verizon. And it wasn't just Verizon, it was other carriers as well, pretty much all of them across the board. And from what I understand, it was spotty all the way across the United States, including Alaska and Hawaii. Something that I should point out is at the onset of something like this, that's when you need to act, right then and there. That's when you need to get going. At the start of an emergency like that, that's when you've got just a little bit of time that you can prepare. So whatever you can do in that small window, you need to go ahead and make things start happening. I wasn't afraid when I came out at the beginning of this because I figured people would just be in like information gathering stage. And what I found out here is that people weren't, really worried. They weren't concerned about it. But as the day progressed, that's when things, people started getting a little bit like, hey, what is going on? Now, if it was a little bit later in the game, I would say, yeah, you need to be careful, even who you talk to out there. You'll obviously have to use your best judgment if something like that happens. Now, just for the heck of it, I did look at the papers while I was inside the store just to see if there was any information there. Maybe I missed something in the news. They were testing, they were, doing some kind of, I don't know what, but I didn't find anything in the paper that talked about anything related to losing comms. Your best bet is going to be to have a PACE plan. With a PACE plan, obviously, if your primary goes out, you have to go to the next one, right? So in my case, I've got GMRS. I also have a satellite phone. I also have ham radio. You could get on a CB. You could get out your crank radio. You could use the rabbit ears on a television if you still got one of those laying around. There's lots of ways to get information. For me, what I had was frequencies that were pre-programmed into my ham radio, and that way I can, search and I can listen to what's going on around me. Now, in that case, I got some information and I just wanted to go verify it. Now, once I had verified that other people were having problems as well, okay, now I want to get back to the house. I want to find out what's going on with my internet. I went home and what I found out was the router had gone bad. Now, let's say you don't have a PACE plan, right? Like you don't have a ham radio or a CB or even, antennas for your TV or whatever the case may be. What could you do after that? Well, something we've been trying to preach to you is you need to have a network. So is there somebody that lives around you, a friend or family member that you can go to their house and you can ask them what's going on? So I think it's time for us to hit the road again and go see one of the members of FTF, Melanie Stanger. Now, before we hit the road again, there's something that I want to talk about. Y'all have seen this in a previous video. I cut through here earlier in a video so that y'all could see that even in the city, there are still lots and lots of places that you can hide. Now, an e-bike in a situation like we're talking about where there's no fuel and comms are down and the internet's down, an e-bike would be a very valuable tool to have, and so that makes you a target. Now, what I did in my backpack is I brought my Tacticloak with me, and what I would do if I was really concerned is I would walk this off into those woods and I would cover it up because I don't want anybody to steal my bike. You got to be really careful in situations like that. You'll be surprised at what people will resort to when their world falls apart. Now, there's another thing that I would tell you to bring, and that's to make sure that you have cash. But you want to make sure that that cash doesn't just go in your wallet. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. I've got cash that's in my actual Wazoo cash belt. I've got cash that's in my wallet, and then I've got cash that's in my cash cap as well. As was the case last week, there were a lot of places that were not able to process credit cards or debit cards. And with the cellular network down, they weren't able to process things like Apple Pay or transfer money via apps. So that's definitely something that you want to think about. Do you have cash on you so that you can buy the things that you need to buy should the grid go down? We are always trying to tell you that emergency waits for no man, and it's always best bet to be prepared. Now, a lot of people are going to be asking, well, Jay, where is your Troxus Lynx? Why aren't you riding your Lynx? Don't you love that thing? Oh yeah, I absolutely love that thing. It's light, fast, and mobile. It's exactly what I want out of an e-bike. I think Chris, he just wanted me to test out a little bit bigger bike. I think that he thought that this one would fit my needs. I like the features that it has. Let's see if we can go across right here now. We're gonna have to hit the button to get across. I think that in his mind, he was thinking, you know, hey, this heybike Brawn is for bigger guys, and it's a pretty quick bike. And I think that right now he is in love with his Rev 1. Now, I don't have any experience with the Rev 1. I'm hoping that I can ride Chris's here pretty quick. But in the meantime, he just left me this bike so I could test it out. I didn't plan on this video being an actual review on this bike. Oh man, we gotta change side of the road again. All right, there we go. Let's hurry up and wait. You know what? There's nobody coming, we're going. Oh yeah, let's do this. All right, now if y'all wanna see an adventure film with me on this bike, just to see what it could do, get in the comment section and let me know. What I can tell you is that so far, I can handle 34 miles an hour. I'm getting passed by a car. If I stay perfectly still at 35, it's okay. Going up a pretty steep hill. Let's see if I can keep it in third. Yeah, we're still going 13 miles an hour. The motor is definitely not an issue. Let's go up gears again. There goes the motor kicking in. I'm having to pedal pretty hard. Oh, and a big long hill. Yep. Back down into third. We'll have to go to second. And I would rather pedal up that hill any day with a bike instead of walking it. Shifter works pretty good. Fifth gear. No problems, nice and smooth. We just did a long hill. Catch our breath a little bit. Man, it is really nice that you can press the throttle and go, you know, 27, 28 miles an hour, 30 we got earlier. You can see, you might be able to see the motor watts. We're at 1,000, just over 1,000. But hey, if you were injured, man, being able to go this fast without pedaling, man, that would be nice. And that's the thing about e-bikes, is you determine basically how much power you're applying, how much power you're using. Let's see here. There is no sidewalk, so we're gonna have to go on the road. What am I thinking? That's a good test. Yeah. Let's go where no sidewalk has been before. Ho. Let me turn down the compression a little bit here. Let's see. Yeah, there. All right, we got some suspension now. Let's see how it does. All right. Ride is pretty smooth. Oh, and here is our road that Mel of the Mountains lives on. Let's go to her place and see what's going on with her. Yep, her truck's here. That means she's here. Let's go and knock and make sure she doesn't shoot me. All right, I'm gonna put my bag down and take my helmet off just so that she can tell that it's me. Oh, I see somebody.
Oh, hey, JJ.
Oh, she's ready to go. I see you are prepared.
Always prepared.
I wanted to talk about the cyber attack that happened the other day.
Yeah.
First off, you're Mel of the Mountains.
Mel of the Mountains.
And you're with Field of Fires.
Absolutely.
And you're one of the people in our network. So I just wanted to go ahead and introduce you. So say hey to the SD audience.
Hi, y'all.
So the other day when this took place, you did not have an interruption in service.
Correct.
And you're with AT&T
And Verizon.
and Verizon, right? So both you and your husband had different experiences.
Yeah.
Right? And you had absolutely no interruption in internet.
No.
Were you able to get on your phone and check to see about the, because you actually were aware that it was going on,
Yeah,
right?
I was.
What did you see on the internet?
You know, people talking about their phone's not working. They're, you know, put stuff on Facebook, asking if everybody else is having service issues. So I know there's a lot of people affected, but luckily it didn't affect me here. It was pretty widespread, like nationwide.
That's the beat on the street right now, is that it was in fact a coordinated cyber attack. This is not your regular home. You're actually staying here for a little while you're in town. What I'm kind of curious about is your level of preparedness. If there was a cyber attack, which there was last week, what kind of pace plan do you have in place? Did you have any other method of communication other than your cell phone?
Normally I would have my ham radio with me, but I didn't pack that and bring it this time.
Didn't bring it that time. That's Murphy right there.
Yeah, but at least I was well armed if something popped off, you know, while I was away from my home unit. Multiple options in that department.
But something that I wanted to bring up is you can, if you have people in your network, you can go by their house and you can link up and try to talk about what's going on instead of panicking.
Yeah.
Like everybody wants to do.
Right.
So in this case, Mel's right down the road from me, so I came down here just to shoot the breeze with her and see what kind of information she had. So that's another thing that you could do. Instead of bothering you, I'm going to hit the road again.
Oh, you're not bothered. I'll push you to work. I got buckskin to work on.
Oh, see that? She wants me to go to work. That's exactly what's up right there. I'll tell you what, I do need to get some more water though.
Yeah, I can help you with that.
And you can help me out with
I
some
do
water?
have a water filter in case water went to crap here.
Oh, that's good. All right, good. Yeah. I've got my electrolyte water, but it's only a half a bottle. I'm going to hydrate up and we're going to hit the road again.
Now we can leave Mel's place. And I think before we go home, I'm going to take this thing for a little spin and see what it can do. We're gonna have to cross this major intersection. Oh my God, we can go. Wow, that's amazing. I cannot believe that. This is such a busy highway. That's crazy. Okay, I'll take it. There are always cars on this road. Turn right, go ahead and do my signal. Let's hit Brick Mill Road. Test the bike a little bit more now. One thing I can say too is this seat, I've looked at other reviews and people said the seat was comfortable. I'm gonna say it's not. If I had to do 42 miles on this bike, I don't know. I'm thinking my butt would be pretty sore. With the handlebars being forward like this, well, your hands can fall asleep. Ergonomics are really important. I think the suspension is good. One thing for certain, the brakes are really awesome. They are more than adequate. I am a taller guy at 6'2", and the bike fits me pretty well as far as, you know, using the pedals go. I just don't like the delay in the motor. With the Troxus, about a half a turn, the motor kicks in. This one, it takes 3 turns before the motor will kick in. But what I'm interested in right now is how is it gonna do off-road? So we're gonna hit some gravel. Front suspension is working pretty decent. Can't complain there. That's a pretty sweet little ride right there. Oh yeah. Nice ride. I think on this bike, it's best if you just hit the throttle first and then you start pedaling. More people. All right, back onto the road. Wow, this bike is fast. I'll say that. It's pretty quick. It handles all right. Okay. We did promise y'all that it was going to get kind of rocky here in 2024. I think this is going to be a pretty pivotal year for us. And we've already started out with a few incidents. This cyber attack being the last of it. But what are y'all's opinions? Because a lot of people said, oh, it was a solar flare or an EMP. You know, everybody has their own opinions of what it is, but we can get in the comment section, we can talk about it. Oh, there's a squirrel. Fresh kill. He was ballooned up though. We don't want him. And I'd also like to know, you know, if you were affected or if you were not. And then other things that we should be thinking about are, you know, what is your pace plan? What are you gonna do if your primary goes out? So if we look at the screen, you can see that I'm about half right now. Now I have been using the throttle a good bit on the hills. I've had it in pedal assist 5, but I don't think this thing has the range. Go up the hill. And also, what would you do if the gas stations were down and you couldn't use your vehicle? Would you use an e-bike then? Or would you just stick to, you know, an acoustic bike? I can tell you in this case, this one worked pretty good. Now I'm looking at my battery and it's saying that I have 3/4 of a battery. So I don't know. Maybe the fuel sender on this thing is sticking like a 1981 Monte Carlo. I don't know. But I think this e-bike has been perfect for this particular scenario for sure. And what are y'all's thoughts on, you know, potential cyber attacks? Because this one, we weren't affected for very long, right? But we could be affected down the road for a longer period of time. And what would you do if that were to happen? All right, let's turn here. Man, this has been pretty smooth sailing today. So y'all like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. 40. Come on. Is that all we're gonna get? 40 miles an hour. Till next time, y'all keep fueling those fires. Do you want premium ad-free content? Duh. Content that's not censored by big tech, of course. Well, with SD Insider, you can get behind the scenes and a whole lot more. Link in the description.